Welcome on in. We lost $361 trading the NASDAQ 2 times. This is not one trade, it's two trades on the 25K account. So risking a little bit more than 150 per trade, I guess, or what is that? Whatever the math comes out to be, which is kind of right where I'm looking to risk on that account size. And winners I try to have now, decently larger than 200, 250 plus would be ideal. So this is the trades. Now, it looks like there's a lot more. I'm just like, I came in here this morning and I was like, what? Because this is now the next day that I'm filming this. I'm like, what are these, like $3 and $12? And then I remembered yesterday, I guess I probably should turn that off. One-click trading enabled. Because I remember yesterday I was looking at my position and I was like, I think it's going to get stopped out. And then I closed the app or whatever. I put my phone in my pocket and I opened back up to check if the stop loss hit. And I'm like, why do I have a new position open? And that was this. I think I just kind of fucked it up, to be honest with you. The $3.81 and the $12.87. I know for sure the $12.87 was a fat finger, but these two were actual trades. So I'm going to cover the actual trades, and then we'll go from there. Technically speaking, this was this 157 is on Thursday. It got stopped out overnight. So that's why it classifies as Thursday. And I entered the trade shortly after, so I was like, okay. Now, there is a mistake here I think I can kind of talk about. So let's just dive into it and talk about what I was looking for. Pretty straightforward trades. The problem that I had was, the NASDAQ was weak, much weaker than the S&P. And, we kind of had established, lower highs. And then as we started to break down under here, here's where we open up the opportunity for trades for me, per my strategy and system. Inside of here, no. Maybe in here you can make an argument, but definitely in here. So as we started to break down early in the morning on Wednesday, the opportunity for shorts were available if I got a setup. And looking back, I just wasn't paying attention. I missed this one. This would have been the setup right here. This would have been the trade. I did not trade that. I traded later on in the day, which was my bad. That would have been the trade. Oh, as I'm now going back in time, I'm recognizing what it is. It actually was three trades. One was a break even, and the others were the two losses. This $3 loss, if I go back in time, the 10:45 a.m. trade, that was the one I took. That one I broke even on, and I'll show you why or how. So I missed this. That was my missed opportunity. That was the trade. Better bets are earlier. Not as good bets later on, but if you get follow through, you can get it could work. Here was the second trade I took. I then watched the NASDAQ come down, play around, stay weak, put in lower highs, and say, okay, establish a level. It did, and then I played the short. I entered in here, and it kind of worked. It got close to my target. I was targeting a little bit lower. Actually, may have even hit that level down here in the after hours. But I just didn't get what I was looking for. I got just underneath. If I put my little trade guy here, I guess tool, this was about a 1.4. I was looking for just north of a 1.5, so maybe like a 1.75 just to be safe, I think is what the original target was. So I didn't get my target. And so what I did was, when I didn't get my target, I moved my stop loss to break even, which, as you can see, then nipped me right there with a little bit of a push back up. And all it did was retest the level, is really all it did. And then I got stopped out break even. That was a $3 loss. And then it came back down, messed around, didn't really do much. It would have hit my target down here, because technically speaking, this would be, if I do the math, and I bring this down, that would be over a 2-to-1. So yeah, my target would have hit. In looking back, my target would have hit if I just left this trade and said, okay, I'm leaving the stop where the stop is. I'm not touching it. I'm literally close my eyes. It would have hit target, and I legitimately would have just had a one trade, made $250 or whatever the number was, and that would have been it. And instead, we lost 361. So it's kind of like a mini spiral, I'll be honest with you, if I'm being real. It's not like the idea was there, as you can see, but the second trade that I took, was on the breakdown that we got right in here, which was this little wick right here, which we did actually get high volume on that, by the way. So it fit the criteria I was looking for. I entered a short here, but I had a stop loss super tight right here over the wicks that were that preceded that breakdown, and it quickly stopped me out. So that trade That second trade was this one, the 1405 trade that lost 186, which is a little steep for what I wanted to lose, but it lost 186. And then the one that I opened up that then I closed overnight, the 157, that trade was, I was like, okay, I entered this one on the live stream actually yesterday. I see we came up to the same area, and I'm like, oh, okay, if we break down again, I'll play it. I got in on the breakdown here. We broke lows, and then we entered the after hours, and then it ended up just rebounding and eventually stopping me out up in here because I put my stop loss up above this level. Now, the reason why I like this trade and I got in, you could say, oh, you're forcing it. Well, no, it fit the criteria. I mean, it's what I'm looking for. Here's the 1 hour time frame, even better. I love a bigger time frame alignment. We got the 1 hour time frame that I was looking for. Like you had the consolidation on the 1 hour, right? Moving down, give your consolidation, get the breakdown. That's what I look for. The problem that I can go back and say, here's where the discretionary, subjective nature, I think, of trading kind of plays into this. And I know this, it's just, I got to, be a little more mindful of it. Let's look back here. We're down a shit ton. Now, is that a reason to say I'm not going to go long or short because we're down a lot or we're up a lot? It's a tricky situation, I think, because you can get yourself caught up in, and there really isn't a rule specifically that you necessarily need to have there because it can work in different scenarios. But 12 hours in a row of heavy downside pressure that we have not seen, 12 hours in a row of that on the NASDAQ in a long time. So I'm like, in a bigger picture uptrend, when you broaden this bad boy out, like bigger picture, still uptrend, short-term downtrend, I probably could have said to myself, you know what? We don't need to force anything here. We could just take our one little loss or took the break even and just move on, and that's it. And that would have been a better idea, looking back, if I'm being honest. So ends up being 3 trades, actually, that lost me a total of, 361. And so, yeah. So we lost 204 on Wednesday, and then the 157 is technically what we lost early in the morning hours when my stop loss hit overnight on the rest of the NASDAQ. But that's the recap. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm covering it up. That's the recap for today. We are up 417 on the month. Not bad. 40% win rate. Not great. Great risk reward right there. Average win loss. I love it. Happy with those numbers. And I do have some open positions that are up. If they do end up going to where my targets are, we'll be having some nice realized gains to finish off the month or to finish off this week. Maybe we'll see. But out from here on, we're looking for the next setup. So that's the plan. I'll leave a link to TradeZelle like always below, where you can track everything on this platform that I use. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.